strategy and partnerships, WeHub. WeHub is our ecosystem partner. A graduate from IIT Madras, Miss Srijana started her career as a business analyst at Dell Global Analytics and then moved to Quickwell, a startup acquired by Practo. She was instrumental in launching Quickwell in Hyderabad. Currently, she's working as a director for the strategy and business development with WeHub, an initiative by the Telangana government.
Please give a round of applause for ma'am. We would also like to invite Mr. Dhruv Gupta, COO ITIC Hyderabad, who is our ecosystem partner, from researcher to entrepreneur, and now an innovation management consultant. He has earned the Gandhi and Young Technology Innovator Award in 2016 at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. He was hosted by the late President Shri Pranab Mukherjee. Give a round of applause for sir.
We would like to invite Mr. Suresh Krishna, AVP, ISB Programs and Partnerships. He leads the innovation and entrepreneurship programs curated for startups at various stages at ISB. Please give a round of applause to him. Now we will have the panel discussion begin.
So it's just about noon, so good afternoon everybody, and welcome to this panel of very eminent experts. I know that maybe the teams that are going to pitch this afternoon are not going to be fully engaged because they're worrying about their presentations. Nevertheless, we'll try to make it exciting and useful to you. You heard a lot about what we are doing, what this event is about, and why we are doing it. I think we want to explore a little bit more of the why. That's why we said let's have a discussion on how and why is it important to set up a kind of a pre-startup or pre-incubation and incubation ecosystem in higher education institutions. Yeah, we all are aware of the conventional degrees and the conventional paths that we go to for our careers, whether it's becoming a doctor, an engineer, or whatever. But what we have consciously introduced here in GITAM, and I think there are lots of other places where this happens, is an additional career track where you can become an entrepreneur, bring your dreams to life yourself, not rely on many other people. And doing that, not only are you doing something for yourself, you're doing something for society, and you're creating jobs. So I think that's a very attractive proposition. I know there are a lot of challenges with people, and we'll discuss some of those in terms of how do you convince your parents, how do you deal with the uncertainties, the risks, the problems that happen. So they are all there, but how do we encourage this kind of an ecosystem? One of the things that we have said at GITAM and through our Venture Development Center and the courses we run is that we are not teaching you how to become an entrepreneur. We are teaching you the skills that will allow you to do whatever you like, whatever you wish, and do it well. Okay, so please keep that in mind. So as a result, when we started the Venture Development Center, we have an undergraduate course on personal discovery through entrepreneurship that is mandatory to everybody who enters the university. So in the last 3 years, I think we have trained close to 19,000 students. And that's something that helps us get, it's a very rich source for our pre-incubation activities where students come in with their ideas. So before I go on any further, let me start off by asking you your as an introduction, your views on why it is important, or do you feel it is important to have this kind of an ecosystem, and how do you see it developing from your own experiences? Whether it's something that you got into this ecosystem by accident, or is it something that was planned? So I'll start. Am I right, Sushmita? You could go ahead and let's have your views, and then we'll start with some questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. My personal experience for entrepreneurship definitely started off by accident, not by choice. But I'm glad that I took that journey. And definitely it started off from a higher educational institution. So I kind of envision an higher educational institution being able to give you the launch pad in making your career choices. So it all started way back when I was doing PhD at NUS, National University of Singapore, as enthusiast researcher, where all my lifetime was spent in the lab doing research. There were phases of the time in the lab when I was pretty empty because my cells were growing, taking their own sweet time to grow in the lab. So that's when I decided, let me go explore the different part of the higher education, which was the management side or the business side. And thankfully, I had a course which could give me that launch pad. So we had a Singapore-Stanford biodesign program happening in the university, which was a mix of group of people from engineering, management, sciences, medical. So 4 students from the multidisciplinary group were made to form a team, tackle a solution, tackle a need of a clinician, and develop a product for that. So that's where my first glimpses of a biodesign design thinking began. And then that's when I realized there are so many needs which the users face that needs to be met by designers, by the business world. And that's where the journey of entrepreneurship in some ways began. Then by the final year of my PhD, I came to a program called Launchpad, where we started interacting with different VCs for funding, angels for funding. And during my 4 years of PhD, parallelly doing research, I kind of experimented with the management world. So as unpredicted as it could be, in the final year, there was a fire accident in the lab. And all the research that I did for 3.5 years came to a standstill. The last 8 months was only spent on doing theses, writing the theses. But I couldn't publish well, partly because all my samples were gone. But serendipity was that I had a parallel line which was going on into entrepreneurship and management. So it definitely helps when an educational institution gives you the choice, gives you the freedom or the encouragement to experiment, try new things. By design, there are programs where the students can explore. And as it has been from last 7 years, I'm in this innovation and entrepreneurship space, and I totally understand, especially for life sciences and the healthcare startups, it's a long journey. The gestation is quite long. The pieces that you accumulate in your education helps you to make the puzzle complete. You need to find the right team, you need to have the right knowledge, you need to find the right market need that you want to address, you need to understand the process for it to be entering into the marketplace. All this takes long, and if you can cover half of that while you are studying in a risk-free environment, then you are in a good position after a couple of years to launch it. So my encouragement to you all as well is experiment as much as you can. Try, if you can do many multidisciplinary activities, you will definitely be able to excel in your, at least quench your curiosity in terms of understanding what entrepreneurship is all about. So yes, I definitely agree it's necessary.
Okay, that's great. Srijana.
Yes. Hello, hi. So entrepreneurship and students, right? I'll start off with a small story. I was one of the first hires of the startup called Quickwell. Very first, as in I was the 5th person into the company. That includes the cleaning lady and the, and the product was ready, we've tested it, everything was sorted. Quickwell is an appointment management system and a queue management system for hospitals, healthcare service providers. So we had to get people downloading the app and start booking appointments through us. Right, market penetration, huge challenge at the point in time, because there is no market validation. No hospital has already signed up with us, and if we had to, medical representatives have spoiled the entire system rotten by giving freebies to everybody, every doctor. They wouldn't sign up until we give them something. And we were a startup, right, struggling with funds at the point. This was pre-Series A, and we had one doctor sign up with us who said, I will not pay you anything, but you can do my queue management system in the hospital. So we were literally standing outside, and people entering into the hospital, we were like, sir, appointment nahi hai, to humse book kara do at 1 rupee. You will get immediate access to the doctor. You will not have to wait in the hospital, right? This kind of a challenge was there because we did not have a system that was backing us at that point in time. We literally had to go sell appointments for 1 rupee, right? But right now, imagine the same situation if I was a GITAM student and I had to have some hospital validate my product. It is very easy because GITAM Incubation Center Chief would have probably connected you to the hospital to experiment your product on, right? A platform is much needed because at some point in time, your muscle or your brain is not just enough for market penetration. And incubation centers today are much, much, much needed because at that point in time, any support is massive. And let me tell you one more thing. When a startup needs money, 10 rupees is the exact same as when you don't need money as 100 rupees at that point in time. The right time, right kind of help is very, very, very much needed. And the incubation centers, be it college incubation centers, be it non-academic or plain business incubation centers, provide you that particular platform. And please utilize all of them. Thank you.
Please.
Okay, so I think I have a completely opposite story. I'm here because my institutions doesn't supported me. So I started my first startup when I was 18 in 2008. And I was not liking the way I was being taught, and I didn't like the ecosystem in my institute. And everybody likes money. I like money more. I'm a pure capitalist, I can say. So I started, that time people used to find people to format their computers. So I started formatting computers for people. I started making basic HTML websites for them, and that's how the first startup, Fuzon Doubleworks, started. Okay, we were doing smaller IoT solutions and all, and we made decent amount of money in first year, lost decent amount of money in second year, then we thought, okay, let's shut it down. That's the first entrepreneurial stint I had, because I was not liking how I've been taught in the college. Okay, so that's how it started. Second one started because I did a lot of research during my master's and I realized it's going nowhere. There has to be an actual use case for the market for it. I figured out 2 more junior students with me. We started this company. We did a great technology, pathetic product. The award they were talking about was for that same company, which didn't made a single rupee. Okay. So I still remember the day. I was sitting with the late Pranav Mukherjee on the dinner table. He asked me, how's the business going? I said, it's going fine. While I'd already shut down the company 6 days back. So on 10th of March, I shut down the company. On 16th of March, I got this award in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. And I'm talking like, yes, it is going good. Okay, so those days comes. Third one worked out well. I sold it off to a North American company. So what I'll say is, it's not that you cannot do it without an ecosystem. But this ecosystem is going to accelerate you. I was fortunate enough that my parents allowed me to do all these things with my life. How many of your parents will allow you to do something without earning a single rupee for next 5 years? It's not easy. Entrepreneurship is not easy. I think if you are in third year, you're already in pressure from your parents, what is going to happen with your placements. I'm pretty sure that your management is already under pressure, what we are going to do with the final year graduates this year. How we are going to get placements for them. The world is brutal. So this platform, what even GITAM has with the name VDC, like we have, they are also representing some similar platforms. They just help you, they give you a safety net. They let you try what you cannot try after graduating in these initial years itself. That is very much required. So if you have dreams, if you want to make, like one thing which Sir missed out was about money. He talked about creating jobs, he tried about fulfilling your dreams and everything. One thing he didn't talk about is money and the adrenaline rush you get. When you build something with your own hands, when somebody say like, yes, I need this, I'm going to pay you for this, that feeling you're not going to get in any other format. Whatever else you do, you'll not get that feeling. When you just make a small thing, you're sitting across the table with somebody and say, look, this thing can solve your problem and I'll charge you 2 crores for this. It recently happened with one of our startups. We were negotiating a deal, and this guy was said, last year, I had not even thought that I will ever hear that somebody is going to write a check of 2 crores for me. Think of that feeling. That is what this platform can lead you to. Okay? Thank you.
Suresh.
Right. So I think the question posed by Sir was, how did you get into where you are or what you're doing today? So I consider my career as a startup again, because I've been investing in it from the time I got introduced to the idea of entrepreneurship. Immediately after I finished my master's from UK, I came back to India and I was just wondering, what next? Abhi parents bole hai ki you have to do computer science, you have to get a great job and stuff. So to make them happy, we did that. But once I came back, I was looking at exploring things. I was open for everything. I was not like, mujhe nahi jana hai the same old IT stuff where I don't want to get stuck. So I was exploring things. I had this mindset for exploring what could be the future, or what I can value somewhere in a different manner. And that's when I stumbled across one of my friends working in an incubator. And he said, Suresh, I think you should give this a chance, because with the way you think about things, this could be something where you can share your expertise with students or individuals, ideators who are ready to do something. Right? It can be very helpful, and you will also enjoy the drive. So I was thinking whether to go the usual path of the IT world, or should I myself explore into a different venue or different thing, because entrepreneurship 15 years back was not as big as it is today. 15 years back, people didn't know what startup is. People didn't know what entrepreneurship in the first place is. It was just business. It's not a startup culture. It is not making ideas into business or anything. It's just build something or make money. So I ventured into it. I took the chance because I found potential in this. There was a huge future to it, because the way the policies at that time were coming out, how the government was thinking, and how our country's demographic dividend was going to build over the next 10-15 years. So I had these conversations with a lot of my peers, my friends at that time, in various incubators or institutes. and what do you think about this? I want to give it a try. And I took the jump, and for the last 15 years, I've been from time to time reevaluating and improvising or looking at how I can, contribute myself in a better manner through different institutions or different partnerships for the benefit of entrepreneurship. So it has been successful. And why I said it itself is a startup is you start with exploring. You don't want to go the usual way, the path that is already laid out. And I see all the students that have come here today, shortlisted for semifinals, as such, because you're not going in the usual path, do the studies, prepare for interviews, get jobs. You are trying to build something, you're trying to do something different. So, and that's what I was at that point of time, exploring new things, trying to build something different. It was not for somebody else, but for my own self. I don't want to, get into something usual. I want to do something different. I want to be different. So you have chosen that path, and it's not easy. Entrepreneurship, all agree, is not easy. It's a tough path, but I think the end results, if you focus on it, are going to be certainly worthwhile, and you are going to motivate furthermore, because the youth, the entrepreneurs that I see in you guys are the future of a country, as our earlier speakers or chief guests have mentioned. So, point institutions, the higher education institutions, are very important. They play the most important role in entrepreneurship if we have to achieve the goals of what the government or what the country is looking forward to. Because we as incubators may not be able to completely do everything from the scratch. The institutions should work as a breeding ground for ideators, ideas, or the basic validations that can come out. And once they are prepared for jumping into entrepreneurship, we as incubators are all there to support them to scale further, right? So going by the topic, right, I was just wondering while I was driving here today, it's a very interesting topic, because what GITAM VDC is doing is exactly that, building a student-centric entrepreneurship ecosystem. And they have already put in place something that kind of defines how it should be. And it kind of spells out the core elements of what a proper student-centric ecosystem could be or should be. So I think we are here merely to see what progress is happening and how we can contribute to the further growth, or in our whichever bit possible.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so as you've heard, there are different paths, I guess, to get into the entrepreneurship domain, whether it's serendipity or the fact that you didn't get the right support system, whether it's the adrenaline rush, plus the fact that, and that was a very important point you made about this providing, academic institutions providing a protected environment where people can actually take risks rather than going out and spending your money or even somebody else's money. And then, like Suresh said, having the dream to actually succeed. So if you look back on your journey, is there something that you could talk about, saying that if this had been there when I was doing my education, things would have been much different? I know the environment is different. Now there is a lot more focus on entrepreneurship and startups, but how do we encourage our students? Now, I talked about 18,000 plus students having done the entrepreneurship course. Barely, less than 1%, or even less than that, are actually wanting to do or set up any businesses. How do we get them to become more progressive in that? Is there anything we can do, and how do we fit? It's a three-part question, I guess. How do we fit into the larger ecosystem as an educational institution? Because do you measure success by the fact that there are so many startups that have come out of the education institute, or is there some other measure? Who would like to start out?
So I'll spill some beans here. So I was a BTech student from GITAM, 2004 to 2008 batch, GITAM Vizag. That's where I did my BTech biotechnology. If you ask me what I would want back then at GITAM that I would have leveraged is we had mechanical engineering department, civil engineering department, ECE, dental college at that time. Wish I had the courage to walk into their places and see what is happening there. Wish I had the courage to just go talk to them and ask, what's your problem that you want me to solve? We were very siloed in our thinking, but I am glad that right now the silos are breaking down. Colleges by design are getting into multidisciplinary courses, electives where students can go into different departments and explore. I come from biotech, and we used to joke that we are jack of all trades and master of none. In some ways, that was a blessing in disguise because we learned thermodynamics, we learned heat transfer, mass transfer, name it, we learn all those things. And that helped to understand the problems from various angles. A lot of time, things, for instance, the problem that we were solving in Singapore for one of the eye surgeon, the solution came from the automotive industry, the reverse backing system, where you get the sound when the cars back or the two-wheelers back. That solution we tried deploying it while doing retina eye surgery. So a lot of time it is the multidisciplinary ways of solving problems which requires a multidisciplinary team. So that's something which I would encourage. Like in GITAM we had a BMAS canteen, but we always used to hang only our class. We had hostel where also again we used to hang out with our friends. So wish now even the medical school can open up doors for the engineers to walk in and see. Indigenization of medical devices is the way. I encourage the college to do certain programs in that scale. And on the question of should number of entrepreneurs be the metrics, I don't agree to that because especially if you see, I'll talk to life sciences vertical, you are in a space where it is heavily dominated by entrenched incumbents, where the startups will not even understand the technology. So for the startups, especially trying to bring healthcare problems, I would say developing the entrepreneurial mindset is important at the college level, and let the startup or the student or the team of the students who have the desire to solve the problem, choose a career path, say go into an industry, go into a healthcare facility, become a biomedical engineer in a hospital or a company, join as a sales team, BD team. Make the team in college, but go explore the world and then come back and solve the problem. That would be something, and for that you definitely need the mindset to be developed in the college. I just got to interact with a couple of students. They said they are childhood friends who have become a team to solve the problem. So you never know when those combination of people that you make, how you can solve the big problem. So that's one metric. I would differ, it's the number of startups, but it's the mindset that you can cultivate. How you track it depends on the strength of the alumni network that you can build on. Yeah, so that's it from my end.
I hope our VDC coaches are listening. It's not just numbers.
Sir, with your permission, I would like to answer it slightly differently. I did have an incubation center in my college. I've been in the college from 2007 to 11. And the idea of entrepreneurship, when it's inculcated at that age, just to say it makes a lot of difference. From the time I was in college to the time I've graduated, there are a lot of ideas that went. We had this center called C5, Center for Innovation, and some of the startups have turned unicorn, at least 5 to name, people who have studied there, and some of them are celebrities today. One of them is a chief guest. So Dhruva, Skyroot Aerospace, Bharat is my batchmate in the college. His idea for entrepreneurship started then. You have Medibuddy, which is a unicorn today. You have Swiggy, that is a unicorn today. Funnication, again, is a batchmate of mine. Then we have Hasura, which is IT-based unicorn, again came out of C5. And this is just Vinita Singh, Sugar Cosmetics, who's also a celebrity today. So these are the output of the right entrepreneurial mindset at the right age. So these was all 7 to 12. Cut to 2021, you have all of these unicorns today amongst us, right? So it is the right mindset, risk appetite, and the right support system at that point in time. Maybe 10 years later, this is the result that we are seeing. And today we are having an incubation ecosystem in GITAM. Maybe 10 years down the line, somebody from here will be going and talking about so many unicorns that came out of GITAM, right? And this is just the 5 unicorns are the big ones I'm talking about. There are also people like me where my company was sold at 90 crores in 2016. There are infinite number of people like this who also came out of an incubation ecosystem that was built in 2007. So, yes, sir, absolutely. So, what you do is, I think you are not having the baggage right now of responsibilities or anything. You're just a free mind today with a lot of possibility, right? And at this point in time, if you start off looking for solutions to the world problems, not creating problems like NFTs probably that tank, but actually identifying the right problems and creating solutions for them. Start building it today, be persistent, keep at it, and there's a lot of potential for you. Thank you, that's me.
Okay, so this is not just coming from like what I learned from studies, this is coming more from the experiences I had. So one thing which I observed is to be a successful entrepreneur, the most important thing is ruthlessness. You have to be ruthless. If you've decided to do something, you have to do it by any way. That's the only way to do it. And I think academic institutions doesn't encourage ruthlessness. There's one question I'm posing, but academic institutions doesn't encourage that. You say, I want to do this. Academic institution will put 5 constraints first. Okay, these are the constraints. Now tell me, will you be able to do it? They're not even following this. What they say, this cannot be done because these are the constraints. I just wish if my educational institution would have changed the language and told me, yes, you can do this, but make sure that it is within these constraints. Make the problem to me even more challenging. That is one thing. Second is, actually nobody told me till my 2 failures that technology is not the product. Technology is not a company. Technology is less than 10% of the company. That is something which I think every engineering college or every engineering student is missing on. Third, the problems you have are not the problems of the world. Like all the developing countries say the same for Europe, that the problems European has are not the problems of the world. The same thing. आपको अपने कैंटीन का खाना पसंद नहीं है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो एक प्रॉब्लम है और वो सॉल्व करने के लिए कोई आपको पैसा देगा. नहीं होता है ऐसा. Okay, you have to go out. You have to see people have already solved the problems, and giving a solution for cheap is not. This is a thing we learned later, that cost and price are two very different concepts. They should not be compared. These are different things, but yes, three things. First, ruthlessness. You have to be ruthless. We all would have seen that video of Steve talking about how he gave a call to Packard for a single chip. Packard was the co-founder of HP, much larger giant of the time. He was just a 14-year-old kid. He gave a call to Packard saying, I need this one chip, can you give it to me? And next summer, he got an internship offer from HP. He was ruthless. He was not shy of asking for things. So you should ask. You should be ruthless. Second, technology is not the product. Third, you should understand that, even I forgot the third, okay. No, so, sorry? Yes. Third is the problem you are solving, you think you are solving, is not the problem worth solving. I'm repeating it again. Problem you are solving, you think you are solving, is not the problem worth solving. You should figure out what is the problem worth solving. Okay. So the second part of the question, how we measure success. As I told you earlier, I'm a capitalist. I measure success by how much money my startups have made. I don't care whether they're unicorns or not. I would like to bet more money on SMEs than unicorns, because valuations are just a number. When I sold off my company, I know what were our valuation, at what value we sold it off, and why we sold it off. A deal is much more emotional in nature than what is there on the paper. Okay, so I measure success by how much money my startups have made. Till now, we have supported 142 companies who have made 1,200 crores in last 1 year. Last financial year, the revenue was 1,200 crores. That's how I measure my success. So I think these were the two major questions. Or
more about how do you measure the success of an academic institution?
So we are an academic institution. We have our, so you must have seen pure EV scooters on the road. Might be few of them are standing in the parking here. Pure EV was our first investment. Today they are a 3,000 crore company. How many of you hold a 5G phone in your hand? Almost everyone. So every 5G phone in India comes with a chip called Koala. This Koala was made inside IIT Hyderabad, one of a company called Vysig. Okay. So you must have not heard of these companies. So Vysig will never get a name as like they are a unicorn. They are a much larger SME. Same is with Pure EV. So if you see, like why we chose this metrics is because if you see in last 12 to 15 years, how many Fortune 500 companies which were Fortune 500 in 2010 are still Fortune 500? And how many new entrants in Fortune 500 were even existing 10 years back? They're not by valuation, right? So that's why we chose this matrix.
Thank you. Suresh Garu.
Right, now, am I audible?
Yeah.
I am now actually thinking after all the three members spoke, the 2 points. The first one, what I would have loved to have back then, right? I think it's the infrastructure and the guidance, certainly. We didn't have anybody to tell us, ki, this is something you can work on, you can do, build. The infrastructure and guidance is in the, and again, when you say academic institutions, again, we have tiers in them as well, right? So we are talking about different institutions having different goals and outcomes. So that's for the second part. But then what do you think would have helped back then? So it again depends on the institution level we are talking as well. When I say institution level, the templates to graduation, MBA or other grades, right? So if you talk about the second point to the second point, a school which is secondary school has a different success measure. A 10+2 thing has a different measure. An engineering college has a different measure. A business school has a different measure. So it's not that one size fits all. So it comes down to, if you are encouraging entrepreneurship, if you are doing something into entrepreneurship, what's the vision of the institution? It comes down to that, a clear vision. What do you want to do with the infrastructure that you're building? What is the outcome? Do you have an outcome? What is the outcome of VDC? If somebody asks you what's the outcome of VDC, do we have a clear, single, crisp line answer key? This is what VDC is here to do. So for me, I'll take example of our own organization. So we have been supporting startups for the past 7-8 years through incubators, but it's not that we've not done that before. But if we take the time that we've done through the incubators, our vision has always been impact on the society. What is the impact that the startups we are supporting are going to make on the society? So if you look at the kind of startups that have come out of ISB, we are talking about Sirona Hygiene, we are talking check renovation, we are talking about Jai Kisan, we are talking about Turbo Hire, we're talking about startups that are creating impact on the ground. It's not just the money, right? It's about what we are creating or solving for the society, how we are making it a better place to live, how we are solving a problem. Money has various shapes or sizes or things to it, but for our institution, that's the vision, how the startups we support are going to sustain in the market and create an impact in the market. It's not just making money, but at the same time, we can't rule out the commerciality of the product. If it is really impacting the society and making a mark, it obviously has a commercial component to it. And if you look at that component, again, we have some amazing startups, close to 11 unicorns from the alums of ISB. So that is always there. So it's both things. Money, impact, both go hand in hand. If you are completely looking for a social cause, that's a different story. But if you're trying to build products, if you want to measure the success, every organization has its own path. So we'll have to look at what's the vision, and the success parameter is going to be dependent on the vision.
That's fantastic from all of you. A lot of rich experience and knowledge and, and advice coming. I think we are running out of time. How much time do we have? 0 minutes? So we'll take 2 short questions from the audience. Maybe students might be interested in asking. This is a good opportunity for you. Raise your hand and the mic will magically appear. Anybody? There, first, third row. The question is directed to any one of the panelists. Please tell us their name.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Like, this question is not addressed to anyone specifically, but just a general question. Like, if we look around right now, like, there are a lot of opportunities, but we can say very less time. Like, personally, I'm a student pursuing Bachelor of Technology in Mechanical Engineering. But when I look around, I find people exploring so many different areas. Let's say somebody is exploring computer sciences, somebody in electronics, somebody is experiencing like quantitative analysis and trades. So it's like when I just try to dive into these things and try to know about a particular field, I just have this feeling that I'm missing out on these things, on every other things. So I'm not able to focus on any single field with all my focus and stuff. So like, what would you like to say in this, that how should I choose a field without the fear of losing in it, that it's not made for me? Like, that's the question.
Who would like to take that?
Which sport do you play?
Sir, table tennis.
Table tennis. That's not a team sport.
Yes, sir, it isn't.
That's why you are having this problem. If you start playing basketball or volleyball, you'll find the solution. That's a problem with Indians. Like we don't play team sports. We don't understand how to work with others. We don't understand how others work. Okay, because you're a chemical engineering student, right?
Yes, a mechanical engineer.
Mechanical engineer. So whatever is supposed to be done or innovated in mechanical engineering by itself has been done in last 200 years. Now whatever new will be innovated will be done only with the help of some other stream. Okay, so you can make a new kind of engine only if a metallurgist is working with you. You can improve the efficiency of an engine only if a computer science guy actually gives you a better way of controlling your engine or controlling the fuel of I don't know what all. So you need to start understanding how to work with others. You don't need to understand how they are working. तुम्हें कंप्यूटर साइंस सीखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तुम्हें ये सीखने की ज़रूरत है एक कंप्यूटर साइंटिस्ट से बात कैसे करते हैं and how to work with them. Okay, I think that's one way of solving the problem.
I see. So, like learning to talk to others, like what would be the worst step? Like networking?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
Like I think Ravi can help you out. He'll make a small team of other engineers with you, give you a problem to solve. Do it, you'll understand how bad it goes. You will be talking about something, your friend with electronics will not even understand what you're talking about. You should understand how you talk, how you communicate, not just talk, like how you communicate. What is your body language? Anna, I'd seen this thing, computer scientists or particularly people working with AI, they come from a superiority complex. They say we are the better engineers. A mechanical engineer will say, no, we are the better engineers. If that happens, it is not going to work. Okay, so you need to first learn. So working in teams doesn't mean you know electronics engineering, you know computer science and everything. Okay, working in teams means you know to respect the other and tell them precisely in their language what you need.
Sushmita, you had to add something quickly.
Let me add it and make it more real to you. This is the problem of first world. Too many choices around. Way back morning when we get up, there is only one breakfast. We are made to eat that breakfast. Now, if you don't want the breakfast, you can do Swiggy, come to canteen, eat, or you can even go for a buffet and eat. This is the problem. So the best solution is you understand when you are forming a team, what is your competitive advantage? Why should the other person stick with you? So find your strength, excel in your strength. If you're not bringing anything on the table, you can be replaced the very next moment. So strategy is not just about coming together and networking. Strategy is also making choices what I am not. In fact, that is a major thing. When you know what I am not, I'll bring and form a team for including all the best competitive advantages. In the end, the startup is a group of people trying to solve a problem. That group of people have to bring in the best competitive advantage of each. So find your complementary teammates, first find yourself, what is your strength? There are a lot of psychometric tests as well. Gallup strength test is one of them, for you to know what you are good at. Excel in that, let your weaknesses be handled by somebody else, but also know how to deal with them. In the end, everything needs to be together. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
And this advice doesn't only apply to him, it applies to everybody.
Yeah.
One last question. Second row. Please keep it short.
Hello everyone, I am Srishma, a second year student of BTech Computer Science. Now, we Indians are very much familiar with the term jugaad. So I would ask you as entrepreneurs, your point of view or your take on this jugaad as an ignition or a kickstarter to many ideas of those startups or unicorn startups in India.
Sujana, would you like to take that? or Suresh?
Could you repeat the question?
We Indians are very much familiar with the word jugaad, which means a shortcut or a hack in common terms. But as entrepreneurs, I'd like to ask your point of view on this. Jugaad as a kickstart or an ignition to many ideas out there.
So, yeah, when you say jugaad, we are trying to get a solution for something that is stuck, right?
Yes.
So, if jugaad can be both the ways, it's just for solving that, and then the second thing is, do you want to make something out of it? So if you're talking as an entrepreneur, I am talking jugaad is to make money. If you're a problem solver, it's not monetized, you're just trying to solve it and leave it there. So in both the cases, jugaad is idea, the sprouting of an idea, and from that, how do you want to grow it is something then you will have to decide, right? As I said, two things. If that jugaad, you see the solution you have come up with, that jugaad you have made can actually be structured into a business, can be commercialized, is there scope for it? These are all things that follow, right? If that is the case, yes, jugaad is the starting point of creating an enterprise.
Was it of any one of you guys, did it lead to your eureka moment in your startups?
Yeah, that when I initially started, right, I said my career, like that was a jugaad for me. I saw pain, and although I did masters in managing information systems, I didn't go through that. And I was just looking at what can I do. And there's another choice. This is something you can do. You're bypassing that and still making something happen and creating a career out of it. IT or software was not the only career, right? So jugaad is always something that is going to solve things and make things easier. That's something you can take as a jugaad.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll just put it in more formal words. So in a journey of a startup, okay, it always starts from a problem, right? And the first thing you find is a problem solution fit. Whatever solution you're thinking of, is it solving your problem or not? But that doesn't make an organization. That doesn't make a unicorn or a large venture or something. Okay, from problem solution fit, you always go towards a product solution fit. And then you go towards a product market fit. So jugaad is usually is this problem solution fit. You solved a problem like that, and it works. It is going to work. Just for an example, I think most of you doesn't know, till the date, Flipkart reached 1,000 orders a day. They didn't have an ERP system. They were managing everything manually on Excel sheets. Nobody even realized that it is not an automated system. When you place an order, Benny Bansal used to get an SMS on his phone. And there was one guy who was entering the data into an Excel sheet. And from there, things used to start. To deliver a product, they used to make at least 12 phone calls. Right? From the initiation to the final delivery of the product, 12 phone calls were used to be made. Right? You can say that was a jugaad. But that was a problem solution fit. It was working well. And it was not an optimal solution. To achieve a scale, they needed an ERP system. But they validated their product that way. That what value we are going to ultimately deliver, is it required or not? Okay, so jugaad is not the right word. Okay, it's a solution. It's a solution which works for you. It will work for 10 people. It will fail when you reach 100 or 1,000 for sure. So getting a jugaad is your first step.
Jugaad is never sustainable.
But don't depend on it. You have to convert it into a product and then a venture later.
No, if we look at jugaad as a quick fix, then no.
Not a quick fix is what I meant.
If we look at jugaad as, more often than not, what happens in startups is we hustle, right? Because the resources are limited, the human headcount is limited. Sometimes maybe Binny Bansal did not think of automating it because he was hustling every day, right? And The moment he realizes that he has to build an ERP, all of this previous data has to be entered into a system, all the analytics had to be built from scratch. That's an extra mile of running for him because he probably missed something at the initial point, right? Jugaad is something that we go to, but is it optimal? Not in any way. Is it an extra mile that you have to run to fix it the right way again? Then yes. When for most of the startups that we are engaging with right now, I always insist on one thing. If you're building something, build it right. If it takes 2 extra days, if it takes an extra month, not a problem. But initially only do the right solution for it. Do not go for a quick fix. That usually happens with a lot of tech startups. The moment their order goes up, the moment a lot of our startups, for example, we recently did the show Nenu Superwoman. Suddenly our startups became popular, and when people started hitting their app very often, they've all started crashing. Because initially they adapted a simple hack, Shopify low, build a shopping platform, and then you're starting off, right? The moment more than 10,000 people hit your app, then you're crashing. So Jugaad is not something that we would advise anybody to go with. But even if you're adapting to something because your turnaround time is very low, take that, once you have turned around, take that exact time to fix it right. Thank you.
My question was, can it be a kickstart or an ignition if we try to scale up after?
For sure.
It is.
Okay, let me just give 2 examples in this case from the product side, not from the software side. So you all know the jugaad of making Maggie in the kettles, right? We all hostelers do that. But in China, there is a company which has started off that brand of electric heater for making rice and everything, which started coming to India. But it was not there. So it is a jugaad which started, but eventually, as all of them said, it needs to be converted into an innovation and it has to be commercialized. Second example that I wanted to see, good old days, we used to store food under the sand to keep it cool. And you all know this product called Mitti Cool. The very popular frugal innovation example. It didn't stay that way. It has morphed into a very good product which people in rural places can still take it. So tier 2, tier 3 cities are using this. So you need to, it is a kickstart, but definitely it's not gonna be something sustainable. It has to be morphed into a product which can be innovative and be able to capture the market in the right segment in the right way.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the questions, and thank you everyone. It was a really rich discussion, and I hope that you will all contemplate on some of the things they have said and understand and appreciate the whole path of entrepreneurship and innovation. So thank you once again. Big round of applause for the panel. And now I will hand it over to our very efficient, very capable MCs. Take it away.
A big thanks to all the panel members for sharing their knowledge and insights. I bet all of us have learned something new and got us rethinking about our own beliefs and perceptions.
Thank you so much, esteemed panelists, for taking your time out today and joining us. I will request Balakumar sir to felicitate the panelists with a token of our gratitude.
I would like to invite our Pro Vice Chancellor from the Bangalore campus, Professor K.N.S. Acharya, to please felicitate our panelists.
Please give a round of applause for sir, guys.
much needed in this. Thanks.
Rich, WeHub, IIT Hyderabad are ecosystem partners. We also have Suresh Krishna, ISP, programs and partnerships with us today.
We would like to request Karthik Tatikonda, CEO of JNTU TBI, who is our ecosystem partner, to join us on stage today.
A big round of applause, please. SmartIDEAthon-2023 wouldn't have been possible without our ecosystem partners. We would like to thank them for giving us this opportunity.
I would like to invite Ms. Nandita Sethi, founder and MD of the Entrepreneurship Zone, who's also our ecosystem partner. Please give a round of applause for ma'am. I request Ms. Rashida Adenwala, President of TI Hyderabad, who is also an ecosystem partner, to join us on stage.
A quick shout out to our sponsors, without whom SmartIDEAthon 2023 wouldn't have been possible. We would like to express our gratitude to all our sponsors. We have our title sponsor, Control S, our platinum sponsor, Grey Quest, and our silver sponsors, Global Tree, Coamp, EduTech, Moss Chip, Thinking Forks, Nutrify Today, and Indian Bank.
We would also like to thank our media partner who are here to film the event. Thank you everybody for joining us today. We would like to wish the participants best of luck for the upcoming event and hope to see some of you all tomorrow. The participants of Smart Ideathon, please stay back. Everyone else, please move forward and go have lunch. Participants, please.